Today we're sitting down with Ashley Hansen, founder of Three Gates Strategies and the brain behind Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's PR and communications strategy. Prior to starting her own agency, Ashley served as the global press secretary and head of communications for the Sussexes, overseeing their Netflix docuseries Harry and Meghan, Prince Harry's Memoir Spare, and Meghan's Archetypes podcast. Her tenure also encompassed pivotal events like the passing of Queen Elizabeth II and the coronation of King Charles III. I had the privilege of meeting Ashley years ago when she was leading corporate comms at UTA. And now here we are. Yeah. So Ashley, welcome to DITL.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I've been wanting to call you Madam President this whole time.
Well,
that was part of my rehearsed intro.
I will take it.
Yes.
But saying Sussexes,
it's hard
as a plural, or like,
yes.
How did you perfect that? Because I just stumbled over my words.
I don't think actually. It's funny. I think we always say the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Okay.
I don't think, for the most part, we would refer to them ever as like the Sussex. It is hard.
The Sussexes.
Because even the gets in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Duke and
Duchess. Yeah, that's
Duke,
also, yeah.
It's, okay, yeah. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Yes.
This is like the new Sally sells seashells 100%. By the seashore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Actors and actresses for your vocal warm-ups.
We have a whole new vocal warm-up to do.
Amazing.
Well, thank you for coming on DITL.
Thank you for having me.
I am super excited to do this with you. You've had a crazy few years, and now we were just talking as we were started of going from working for someone and within a company to now running your own group and the differences in your days because of that.
Yeah, it's wild because, you know, I think for anybody that's been in an industry or a role that is really like a support role, which publicists are, communications executives are, you know, your life is really revolves around the people that you support and that you work for. So their days sort of dictate your days, what they have going on. If they have a shoot, if they're traveling, you know, then you're traveling, you're getting up, you're on the move with them. And it's not that that's not the same now that I have my own firm. It's just different because I have more than one client. So it's allowed me to sort of not be as hands-on and build a team within the infrastructure of Archwell to sort of manage the day-to-day and still sort of advise from a high level.
I'm so excited to get into this.
Yeah.
So on DITL, we always start at the beginning of your day and work our way till the very end. So what time do you wake up and how do you get your day started?
I hate waking up. Like, I mean, I'm very happy to be alive. Like, I'm like, yeah, thank you, Jesus.
Totally.
I've risen, but waking up is so hard for me. So it's never the same. Every day, I will take as much time as I possibly can, depending on my schedule. And I can sleep for hours and hours and hours. There's never like enough sleep for me. But I'd say for the most part, my alarm does go off at 7 every day, whether or not I listen to it.
Is that a phone alarm?
It is a phone alarm. Yes. We also have a dog who will wake us up to go outside at that time, right around that time, sometimes a little bit earlier. So sometimes it's 2 a.m.
Okay. So the dog gets you up and then what?
And then depending on who hears her.
Love the quotes around hears.
I've been accused of maybe hearing and you know, sleeping through. But one of us will take her out, feed her, and then it's sort of like we're up. Shower. We don't really do coffee or breakfast at home, which is, I know, really weird. I have a drink that I make by Dr. Enigma. Have you ever heard of her?
I love her, and Chloe
Yes.
has introduced me to her.
Yes. So I introduced Chloe to Enigma,
Full
but
circle.
she has this vitamin C powder that's like has all different vitamins in it. You put it in water and it like gives you energy. It makes your skin look really nice. And like that's sort of the only thing that beverage wise that I'll have.
Well, it's working because I've been staring at you and your skin since I walked into the studio, and like you are glowing.
Oh, well, I will say I did some research and I was really nervous about this because you're always glowing and your guests seem to be always glowing. So then I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be the dull one. I'm going to be the unorganized, dull-skinned, boring guest.
You know what?
But
Maybe
thank
it's
you.
just great lighting at Dear Media.
It could be. It
Yeah.
could be.
Maybe
Yes.
we have,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
just great lighting.
Great hospitality, great lighting, great branding,
Yeah.
great host. I'm a publicist. I can't help it. Yeah. So my husband will usually then leave for work. I work from home. So it depends how active and how much I have going on in the morning. That sort of determines how my day kind of goes. I have some clients in the UK. So some days actually my mornings can be earlier just so that we're on the same kind of time zone. So if it is any earlier than 7, I may, if I can, go back to bed for an hour or two before I restart.
Good for
the
you.
day. Yeah,
Your day-to-day has really changed
completely.
since you've started your own
Yes.
firm.
Yes.
What did you probably did not have the luxury of sleeping in till 7, and I would
No.
imagine you were traveling most
a
days of the
lot.
year?
Yes. There's a lot of travel. And really, just depending on news cycles, I give those two so much credit because it never ends for them. There's never a day where they're not in the news. Whereas, most celebrities, famous people, they have, movies that come out and they see an uptake of press and coverage and interest, or there's a crisis and that, the ebbs and flows of that. But, with the exception of presidents, it's unlike anything I've ever experienced before with any other client, and I don't think I ever will. So I give them a lot of credit for balancing and maintaining, a healthy lifestyle and outlook with that kind of pressure.
Well, I think it's so interesting because where we started in this conversation was that your day-to-day is really dictated by your client's day-to-day. And so for the last, 5 years or 4 years, your day was dictated by someone else's.
Yeah. And I think that's it's really interesting. I did the Hoffman process. Have you heard of?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was like such an interesting. It was the best thing I ever did, by the way. If anybody has any questions about it, I'm always.
Have you done it more than once?
No, just once.
Okay, because I feel like a lot of people make it an annual thing.
I mean, if I could, I had the best. I mean, it was really challenging and difficult.
And just for those who haven't heard of the Hoffman Institute before.
So it's a week long. It's 7 days. I believe they have one on the East Coast as well in Connecticut. And I think there might be one in Canada. But it's in Petaluma, California. No phone, no internet access, no books, no audio, nothing. You are on your own and you are just immersed in a curriculum that basically helps you uncover and discover things about yourself that you may not have known, things that may be subconsciously holding you back that you haven't been able to address. And I think it sort of allows you to re-enter the world a lot lighter with a lot more understanding of yourself, your needs, and what you want out of life. And so for me, what I kind of realized was I was never somebody that was comfortable addressing my own needs. Like I was sort of like even in my family dynamic, the glue, if things were wrong, it's like I was the happy child and keeping everybody upbeat and together. And even in friendships dynamics, like I never was comfortable really vocalizing my preferences or what I wanted. And so I think it made me realize like, oh, I think I chose this subconsciously, this kind of work, because it's so much easier for me to focus my energy into fulfilling other people's needs and helping them reach their goals and helping them, have more visibility on whatever it is that they're working on. And that worked for a while. But then once I realized like, oh, it's actually okay to have needs and it's okay to, have opinions and personal interests, or to say like, no, actually, I don't like that. Or no, I don't want sushi tonight because I had it, for lunch. Like I would not do that. I would just suffer through it. Not that sushi twice a day is suffering, but you know what I mean?
Totally get it.
And I think that sort of was a factor in me deciding like, oh, actually, let me find some balance in, doing what I love, which is helping others and helping them shine and raising awareness and doing what I can to amplify other people's dreams, but also find a way to not sacrifice my own in the process.
And like the re-entry back in
to
your day-to-day, what did you change immediately?
I really found that I was taking time to listen to myself more and hear myself more and try really, really hard to be present. I'm definitely not perfect at it. And the one thing I'll say is I'm better at identifying, oh, wow, like it's been a minute since I was living right now in this moment. And I'll at least acknowledge it so I can try and either reframe or rework towards it. But it was also one of those things where I think sometimes we do, if you do anything that's like for your mental health, or you get into yoga or meditation, you're like, oh, if I do this for X amount of time, I'm cured. I'm going to be an amazing person. I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to be a solved person. And you do feel a sense of like euphoria coming out. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not anxious anymore. I will never struggle with depression. Like I'm amazing. I'm good. Like I'm cured. There's no such thing. So you just, it's the work. You have to just continue the work. So the journaling part was really big for me and something that I still keep up with.
Do you do that daily?
I do that daily. We were talking about this before, but I am a little OCD when it comes to my handwriting. So sometimes
your handwriting, everyone, look at the DITL Instagram.
It's not good. Can I do another one just so we can have?
Okay, if you want to, because then we can look at what you think is bad and the new one.
Yes.
But like Ashley's handwriting is so top notch. It is beautiful, truly beautiful.
Thank you. But it was hard for me because I would focus more on what I was writing looked than the actual
so interesting
art of writing. And I was like, this is all the more reason why I need to get some stuff out on the page. But a friend of mine gifted me this book that I am so in love with. And if you like the sound of it, I would love to purchase you one, and you too. It's called My 5-Year Story. And so have you heard of it?
No.
So each page is just 5 like groups of 4 different lines. And you only have 4 lines to play with each day.
Okay.
So you basically fill the book out for 1 year straight. And then once you get to the next year, you can see exactly where you were the year before. Does that make sense? And it has been so interesting to like look back and see like just even progress from when I started mine, when I made the decision to kind of start this new venture, and the changes that I've made just in that short time have been really helpful to like reflect on. And it's not this like chunk or lengthy, amount of writing that I have to like comb through to kind of get the gist of. It's just forces you to be kind of direct.
And have you been able to release the perfectionist in you about what the handwriting itself looks like?
No, it looks amazing, but
it's ready to be published.
It is ready for publishing.